Welcome to episode 34 of By the Rumor, where we talk about the latest in tech, crypto, and a little bit of pop culture sprinkled in. I am the voice of DeFi. This is Christine Barnum. How are you, Christine? How was your weekend? Anything fun or special or super duper that you did? Oh no, can you not
I'm
hear me?
good.
Oh,
I
there you
feel
go.
like
Okay.
my mic and headphones
Something uh loose, but I'll keep re.
Okay, yeah, you do
can
sound a
you hear
little
me?
different. Yeah, you do sound a little different, but
I'm
I
having.
was able to
Let
hear you.
Me try
It's like there's
plugging it in.
it's like there's a short in, like a wire or something, because you're like intermittent. I can hear you for a little bit and then you're gone, and then I can hear you and
Yeah.
then you're gone.
Yes, that's what it
That
sounds like.
Well, I can hear all that just fine. Well, let me talk a little bit on here. This is By the Rumor, episode 34. We'll talk about, like I said, a lot of the tech, crypto, and a little pop culture sprinkled in. We have some topics that we want to talk about. Right next to Christine's head, you can see the AI bear. Binance has been sued, a rise in retail. Pizza Speedster, we'll find out what that one's all about. Crypto scam alert, and then also some cuts happening at Binance. After that, assuming Christine gets our mic stuff taken care of, she's going to tell us a little bit of budgeting hacks that she thinks that you should know. And she'll do that in Christine's corner. And then I want to talk about some stats that probably you won't even believe. But nonetheless, they actually are real. They've happened, and they've actually affected the markets, whether it be the crypto markets or just the regular centralized markets. And I will tell you about those here in just a bit, so you can make sure you listen to that. Christine, speak now. Say the alphabet. Say your deep thoughts, and I'll tell you if you're
It
sounding better.
EFG. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I did. I heard you say EFG. I didn't hear ABC, but I think I talked over you. Try that. Now say something. Say share. Say share out the room.
Okay, now I hear you in my headphones. So something so.
It seems like I can hear you just intermittently. So I think as long as I shut up, I can hear you. It's like whenever we're talking at the same time.
Either
Nope.
out.
Nope. There you go. Tap your mic. Do this. Nope. Not hearing that at all. Nope. It's not coming from there. I think, yeah, not at all. I'm going to shake my head and say not at all. Will you continue to troubleshoot? I'm going to start out. I'm going to keep on with these stories and see what we can do. See if you can kind of figure out some things. I'll tell you what, whenever you do kind of get some things figured out, tap on the mic, and that always lets me know that the mic is working. Doesn't look like that's happening. It might be. If we only get the sound from your laptop mic, that'll be fine. But it's not coming from your mic up here. I feel confident in saying that. All right, well, let's move on with the stories. We have 3 minutes to talk about each of those stories. Before you listen, make sure you do share out the room. We do have a nice little chat room where you can go in here and say what's up. And we'll make sure you share out the room and get everything done there. In the meantime, let's go ahead and talk about this. We've got an AI bear. There's a group called Toy. It released a bear called Kuma. It's an AI-powered bear. But here's the problem. It's a significant leap in toy technology, and as we should be really proud of us to be able to build something like this. But the problem is the sales of this AI bot were suspended. Now, why are they suspended? You might be asking. Well, that would be a fantastic question. It's because it gave advice on BDSM sex and where to find knives. This nice little innocent bear, mom and dad bring it home. It's little Timmy or little Susie's birthday, and they're saying, try this toy. And then it goes on to give BDSM sex advice and where to find knives. Larry Wang, the CEO of the Singapore-based Toy, told CNN the company withdrew the Kuma bear, and it's now conducting an internal safety audit. So this is some of the bad things that can happen with AI. It's great. It can do so much stuff for us. I love AI, but you put it inside a teddy bear and it will tell you how to do BDSM sex, as well as tell you where to find knives. And we don't need our children knowing about BDSM sex or knowing where to find the knives. That doesn't seem like a good idea. Christine, can you hear me? And if so, are you interested in getting one of these bears?
I could hear you through the computer.
Okay. Well, I can hear you. And that's
Well,
important.
I mean, that's okay.
I feel like we can move forward at
Yeah,
the
we can move
least.
forward. Just my mic and my headphones just suck today, but at least we have the computer.
Weird, weird, weird. Did you hear about this bear that I just said about
No,
this AI
please give
powered?
me the rundown really quick.
Well, it's an AI powered bear, and it's pretty cool. Little Teddy Ruxpin looking bear, very cute. And the problem is, this bear was AI powered, and it was giving BDSM sex advice as well as telling you how to find knives. And this bear is now off the market, unfortunately.
It was
So
giving BDSM advice
yeah, it says it gave advice on BDSM sex and where to find knives.
and
So
knives.
yeah, it says we were surprised to find out how quickly Kuma would take a single sexual topic we introduced into the conversation and then run with it, simultaneously escalating into graphic detail while introducing new sexual concepts of its own. I'm interested in knowing what new sexual concepts AI has came up. I feel like we as humans have kind of like really figured out sex concepts, but no, this bear, AI bear,
You know what's crazy is I feel like I knew that as technology got better or advanced, like just human nature was going to take it to extremes on like just sexual kind
yes.
of AI stuff.
And this is for kids. Let me read this one last
Wait, what
paragraph
do you
because
mean
it's
it's for
funny.
kids? I thought it was like an adult toy.
No, it's a bear. It's a teddy bear.
Yeah, but I thought it was like for the furry people.
I don't think it's not to wear. This says the researchers detailed how the bear later discussed even more graphic sexual detail topics in detail, such as explaining different sex positions, giving step-by-step instructions on common knots for beginners for tying up your partner, and describing role play dynamics involving teachers and students and parents and children scenarios it disturbingly brought up on its own and by itself. So I did look for one of these bears and on Amazon, and yes, they have been pulled, but for about double the price, a mere $160, it is now for bid on eBay. If
That's
you are,
insane. I cannot believe it was ever okayed through, like passed through all the boards of directors and
but no,
um
it's AI. It's not like it has pre-recorded things. It's AI, so you're just chatting with this AI bot,
oh
and for
my
whatever
God.
reason, it allowed, and it's open AI probably that it's Chat GPT that let it come
That's
through.
insane. I'm glad it's out of there.
Yes, yes, yes. All right, check this out. Binance has been sued. Victims of the Hamas attack have filed a lawsuit against Binance Holdings, alleging that the cryptocurrency platform facilitated transactions for Hamas. So this is interesting. And
I saw
Binance,
that.
they're just an exchange, right? And you can use their exchange to go from your local fiat currency to Bitcoin or any other type of currency, any other type of cryptocurrency. And they're now facing a lawsuit because they say the people that are putting in the lawsuit say that they knowingly facilitated crypto transactions by Hamas before the group attacked Israel on October 7th, 2023, killing 1,200 people. So should Binance be? I don't think they are worried about this because Binance has a lot of money. But is this something that an exchange should be held liable for whenever people use their cryptocurrency in nefarious ways? In this case, it went to Hamas, which helped, as they say, facilitated this attack on October the 7th a couple of years ago. Should Binance be held responsible for this?
No, because they don't know.
They right. That's what I was wondering. How would have Binance have known who Hamas was or what they had planned to do with it? We can't put it on Binance to police every transaction, can
Right.
we?
That's just the same thing with like the dark web, right? Like a lot of it goes through people are saying people use crypto and this and that, but it's like, is it So do you just ban crypto altogether because of that? No, it's not like they're saying, hey, use this for
For
bad transactions that are against the law.
Completely agree. Completely agree. This brings us back to in 2023 when Binance actually pled guilty for violating anti-money laundering laws, and they actually paid. And this is an amazing amount then; it's an amazing amount now. $4.3 billion in penalties. CZ then pled guilty, stepped down as CEO, and served 4 months in prison. But Donald Trump pardoned him just last month, and now he is not charged. So it seems that the Trump administration says that that shouldn't be the case, but I don't know. There may be some donations that happened to the Trump campaign or the Trump to the Republican Party or something like that. I don't know what goes on in the back end. The question just to me is should Binance be responsible for all the transactions? And to me, no. I don't believe that they should be. They can't play parents for all of these. Now you say, now Voice of DeFi, a lot of people, passed away on October 7th because of this attack. I get that. I'm not even here to get political on that particular issue. All I am saying is I think it would be tough for a cryptocurrency exchange to know what you plan on doing with that crypto. And
Right.
I think that might set a tough precedent.
Yeah. I remember when that whole Tornado Cash founder
Oh, yeah.
situation happened, and a lot of people were split right in the middle, like, hey, well, that's what he gets. He made that. He should have had something that, regulates that kind of transaction. But that's the whole idea, is not being, you know, like
Completely
under in
agree.
this box. But we're always going to have people that use something, anything, for bad, just like a car, right?
Well,
Like
I mean,
we all should have a vehicle, but should we ban vehicles like
or
because
or
people run people over?
how about because drugs are bought with U.S. dollars, with cash? Should Bank of America or Chase get in trouble for giving me that cash because then I turned around and bought drugs with it? No, that would be completely ludicrous to think that
Correct.
the bank should be responsible for what I do with the cash that they give me. That's absolutely ridiculous, and I don't think that Binance should be held responsible either.
Right.
All right, next up, U.S. retail sales. This actually surprised me. U.S. retail sales show a modest increase. Their sales at U.S. retailers and restaurants increased slightly in September as consumers moderated their spending after summer splurges, adding to months of significant gains. Does that kind of surprise you? It surprises me that U.S. retail sales actually grew, especially in this economy when people don't have a whole lot of extra
Yeah.
money. Is
I'm
it possible?
interested. I'm interested in like how that would even happen when a lot of people are saying, it's just a lot tighter now, but it also resonates with the credit. I guess, just credit debt is higher than ever. So it might just be that people are just, what is that, retail therapy now? Like they're beyond the worried, let me try to fix it. Who cares? I'm already drowning. Let me max this out and
That's
file
a
for bankruptcy.
great question. Because wasn't it last week one of our stories said that people are willing to go into debt this holiday season more than
Yeah,
ever?
that was last week. Yes.
And so now it's funny how these stories kind of go together. We're willing to go more into debt. And now we have a report that, hey, U.S. retail sales grew, right? It doesn't say where the money came from, whether that's borrowed money that the U.S. retail sales grew from. So, yeah, maybe the U.S. consumer is just deciding, I'm just going to go into debt, further into debt anyway.
That's
And
insane. Like if they feel like they can't get out of it, does human emotion just goes through well, F it. Let's go all the way.
okay, let me bring up this. A lot of times we look at our economy as it's doing well if the stock market's doing well, right?
Yeah.
And so imagine this: people spend money that they don't have, which they didn't spend it at retail establishments, whether it be restaurants or brick and mortar kind of places. And then it makes those stock prices look good, and the stock goes up because people are investing in retail. But the U.S. consumer is doing worse than ever. Why do we always say if the stock market goes up, it means that the U.S. consumer is doing better? It might just mean the U.S. consumer is making poorer decisions than ever. and it's making stocks go up, which might make me or you money if we decide to invest in those particular retail establishments. But I don't know that it's a good barometer for if the U.S. consumer is doing
Right.
well.
Yeah. I don't know. I have like a personal story, and I hope he's not listening before we move on to the next one. But
Ooh,
he
this is the
called me
best.
saying, "Hey, my creditor, like all my credit cards shut down. Like
Ooh,
Chase and everyone shut him down." And
oh
I
my
asked him
goodness.
why, and he said, "Well, I haven't been able to make a payment." I was like, "Even the minimum?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's just been so hard." So they all, American Express, Chase, and everyone just shut down his credit cards. And
Wow.
I was like, "Well, what are you gonna do?" "I don't know, I'll figure it out." But it's just getting to this point, and I think banks are also creditors, and banks are looking at people's spending habits, and they're probably like, okay, this person's getting underwater, let's just shut it down. I wonder if they even shut it down before, if you're still making minimum payments, but they're like, this person's completely underwater, or they'll bring down the limit that you're able to spend.
Yes, I think that possibly kind of where they bring down the limit. But if you're paying the minimum, they love you, right?
Oh
Because
yeah, because you're
if
like, yeah, that's true.
you're bringing in the cash, your balance is probably growing because you've got this ridiculously high interest rate that they're charging. And yeah, so if you're just paying the minimum, you're exactly who they want. Matter of fact, I've heard that credit card companies do not like those that just pay the balance each month. And that's the way I try to run my credit cards is just usually no matter where I go, I always have the money whenever I go to a restaurant. Like I actually have it in the bank or have it, wherever I'm going to. But I just pay off the entire balance at the end of the month. And
They
I've heard
hate
that
you.
credit card companies, yeah, they don't like me because they're not making money off of me. If I'm carrying a balance, then they're able to actually make money from the interest rate that they're putting on me. If I pay it off every month,
Yeah.
they're not able to do that. And which is why I do it. But at the same time, it's probably why they don't like me or somebody like me.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, the pizza speedster. I thought this was an interesting story. There was a Florida woman, already there's a red flag, right? Arrested for driving 107 miles an hour. Now, you might be wondering, why was she driving so fast? Well, she needed to reach a pizza store before it closed. And she was charged with dangerous excessive speeding, which is a misdemeanor. And she even has a picture here. I wish I could share it with you so you could see
Uh,
here. But yeah, I've got a picture here of. I mean, she looks like she's had a slice of pizza. I don't know. She seems content. But yeah, she was caught driving 107. Is there a pizza, Christine, that you are willing to drive 107 miles an hour for?
no, even, and I love pizza, but there's just no way. Like, you just have to take the L, guys. What this story reminds me of is how unstable a lot of people's mental states are like nowadays. They're very, like, things don't make sense, and people will go to extremes to just find that temporary happiness
Like
and
pizza?
risk your life, others' lives, like your
What do you
freedom.
what I have some interesting information here. What car do you think she drove 107
I
miles an hour?
was gonna say Tesla, but I don't know.
It is not a Tesla. A Tesla could certainly do that speed, but it is not a Tesla. It is a blue 2020 Kia Forte.
Wow.
And it said, instead of enjoying a late night slice of pizza, Arizo got a taste, which is her last name, of the booking process instead. And she was processed at 12:52 a.m. by deputies. She was released at 6:52 a.m. So she spent 6 hours in jail, and she posted a $150 bail. That's an expensive. That's an expensive piece of pizza.
Pizza. Yeah.
Well,
I know it's just not worth it, but like I am like with all these stories that we read as of recent, I'm realizing that a lot of people are just risking everything for something so
she
not
needed
worth it.
pizza. I feel like you're
Yeah.
not understanding her need here. She needed pizza,
Well, now
and she
she's
need.
very much not going to get a pizza for that 6 hours she was there.
Well, she's out. She has $150 bail. Wouldn't you love to know if on the way home she stopped for a pizza or something?
She better have, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. So she's $150 lighter, and she definitely should have eaten pizza and really enjoyed it. Is there? You say you love pizza. What's your pizza of choice?
You're gonna hate this, but
Oh
because,
no.
and I'm saying this because a lot of people are
If
like,
you
ew.
say pineapple, I'm
No.
disconnecting
First of
the
all, the
space.
brand of pizza, I enjoy Pizza Hut. And then I just like the
Ooh.
regular pepperoni pizza.
No, I don't hate you for regular pepperoni. I love pepperoni pizza. That's what I often will get. Pizza Hut,
Yeah. What do you like? Domino's or something?
Domino's is okay. Uh, I like. Okay, I'm gonna sound like snobby here. I like boutique pizzas, wood oven fire pizzas, not from those chains that you normies go to. I like have you ever seen Dave Portnoy? He'll go to different like pizzerias and he'll judge them on based on their pizza. I like those kind of pizzas.
I like the artisan pizzas, but I thought we were just talking about just brands, like just the
Well,
brands.
one of my favorites, and if anybody's listening and you know something about this, I'd love to hear what your thoughts is. There was near me a South Shore Boston bar type of pizza, and it
Hmm.
was really good. I'd never had it before, and I think I want to try it again. But I'm not going to drive 107 miles an hour to get this pizza. I don't think. Maybe I would. All right.
You
Anyway,
might.
uh,
You might
let's
in your
talk about the
Tesla.
next one. Right. The Ledger CTO warns of a zero click vulnerability. Now, that scares me whenever you talk about a zero click vulnerability for crypto users, because normally you're like, oh, I had to click into something that I shouldn't have. But this is what they call a zero click threat. It says Ledger Chief Technology Officer Charles Guillemet recently warned crypto users about a new wave of major zero click vulnerabilities. Guillemet urged crypto users to protect their assets by not leaving valuable information on their phones. This gets into how scared you got the other day whenever you lost your phone and you immediately thought, did I lose my crypto on there?
Right.
You didn't, right? You ended up you had seed phrase backed up somewhere.
Yes, thank God. But if I didn't, that would have just been a no-go. It would have been done.
Well, I mean, of course, they actually stole your phone there. But
Yes.
this CTO from Ledger said that some could spy on high-value targets or criminal organizations aiming to steal high-value secrets, such as crypto wallets. So yeah, I this kind of scares me a little bit because always I think if I were to be able to lose my funds, it's because I'd lose my phone or something like that. But this is hacking groups using commercial spyware to compromise WhatsApp or Telegram or Signal. And once you install something that you shouldn't have, the spyware gives the attacker complete access to your phone, including crypto wallet apps.
Whoa.
So far, the targets, get this, are mainly diplomats and officials in the US, Europe, and Middle East. So they're not coming after me and you because me and you are peons in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah,
But
but if
they
it's
are
easy, if they're able to successfully do that with them, then
correct. Uh, yeah, so the zero click vulnerability says they're bought by nation states to spy on high value targets. And then so let's say the US, let's I'm not going to act like the US couldn't possibly be involved in something like this, actually has access to another wallet from an intelligence briefing, okay, because they've actually got another country that's using this vulnerability. They can spy on their spending habits. So not only do they want to spy on your and I spending habits with crypto, they want to spy on big world leaders elsewhere as well. So yeah, zero click vulnerabilities. They're not coming after you and I, so you can rest easy because I know you. I know you get
but
concerned,
I was
especially after you
planning
lost
to
your
be a
phone.
diplomat.
I would like you to be a diplomat, please. Between us and Canada, you could finally let us and Canada get
Oh my
along.
God. I snuck into there, remember?
I do. And aren't you
Yeah,
kicked
so
out of there
I'm fine.
forever?
I'm over it.
You're fine. You've let bygones be bygones.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of Binance, as I mentioned earlier, the fact that they were getting sued, the Binance exchange is set to cut multiple perpetual contracts from its trading platform, impacting the cryptocurrency pairs. Now, you've traded perpetual contracts on I don't think you've done it on Binance before, but whenever we can long or short with leverage these different coins. You've done this before, if I
Yes.
remember
Yeah.
correctly, and I've done it before as well. But they're actually going to start cutting multiple contracts. And it's because you've got somebody like Binance that's been taking over the last 4 years several different meme coins to put on their exchange. And it turns out meme coins don't have the legs that maybe they thought they did. And they thought maybe, oh, these meme coins are going to be traded with major volume for years and years and years. And it turned out that's not the case for all of them. So they're trimming and saying, like, if no one's going to trade or buy these, then we're going to completely get rid of them. My question to you, Christine, is should they do that, or should they just leave them there in perpetuity? And if I want to trade them, I can, even if these things are going down to nothing eventually.
I could see both sides, and only because when I do stocks, right, penny stocks are very
Yeah.
comparable to
Meme
meme
coins.
coins and like
Yeah.
these altcoins, and they do not let you do contracts with the OTC. They only let you do it once you've hit like Nasdaq. So they're probably following that kind of
What do
regulation.
you mean do contracts? Are you saying like options? Is that
Yeah,
what you're saying? Okay,
and
for
leverage.
like options. And leverage, right. So I guess my thought is if these things are going to zero, I want the ability to short them to zero and be able to just ride the wave down. Of course, you need some liquidity to buy it.
That's what I was gonna
Anyway,
say. You need liquidity though.
you do. And sometimes exchanges, depending on how they're set up, they will provide that liquidity, which probably gets into exactly what this story is. And Binance is not wanting to take on that
Provide it.
liquidity.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And they're just saying, just cut it. We're not even going to deal with it. So, yeah, I would like them to leave it on there, but they probably will not leave it on there.
Right.
Now,
And you
oddly
get
enough,
why.
yeah, I get why.
Yeah.
Now, oddly enough, my trading on perpetual contracts these days is I've tried to code a bot to do this. And sometimes I've actually been caught on this where the bot will trade a meme coin that in between me buying or selling it, longing or shorting it, in between that, they actually pull it off the exchange and it closes out my position immediately, whether it's in profit or in loss. So
Oh
um,
wow.
I've actually been caught in this where it gets pulled off the exchange before I have any chance to do anything. So
You have actual experience in this story.
exactly. Well, it wasn't in Binance, but yes, Binance is going to pull those off of there, and yeah. So scary stuff. If you're like, if you were, for my trading bot out, it's very negligible of how much money it's moving. But if you were moving a major amount of money on a meme coin that then got delisted in the midst of you trading it, right? You didn't complete the trade. You didn't sell it after you buy it or buy it after you sell it. Then yeah, you're stuck, and that kind of sucks. So that would not be any
OBC
good.
Fayette said, "Thanks, I just deleted WhatsApp from that last story."
Oh, really?
Eth for Food said, "Are you trading on Monad yet?"
I am not trading Monad yet. Should I eat for food? I've seen so many people talking about it, but I have not. I have not. My Telegram groups are a buzzing with Monad, but I have yet to get in on it. But Eats for Food, talk me into it. Tell me I need to. Tell me
Yeah,
how.
convince him.
Yeah, tell me how stupid I am for not for not trading on Monad yet, and maybe I will. Maybe I will. I have not yet, but I've really thought about it. Anyway, yeah. Convince me. Convince me. All right. Enough of that convincing. Those are the top stories of the day. One more story that I didn't put on here that we have not talked about that I want your thoughts on, Christine. The penny. Are you sad to see it go? Did you pour one
You
out for the
know,
penny?
I love, like, I've always been a lover of the pennies, and I'd always say those like cliche
Find a
little
penny, pick it
quotes when
up.
people are like, "Here, it's just a penny, just keep it," or "There's a penny on the floor, I'm not picking it up." I'm like, "You can't make a dollar without, like, that penny." And they're like, "Shut up." But it's money. And then, we get into the logistics that it costs. What is it? It costs like way more than what the value is
Yeah, it was
to
costing
make
like
it.
15 cents or something to make
Yeah,
it.
is it
Yeah.
15? I thought it was like 4 cents to
Oh,
make.
maybe it is. Maybe I'm thinking
Okay.
of nickels.
And then so I understand why, but I am sad to see it go. And I grew up like going up to the ice cream trucks and all these places, and they're like, you need 4 cents, you need one more cent or whatever. So it really made a difference. But these days, it just doesn't. So,
I want to hear your penny sayings. I'm going to say a few that I know. There's find a penny, pick it up. All the day you'll have good luck.
yeah.
Okay. Find a penny, put it down. All the day you'll have a frown. I've got that one. And then you said something about you need pennies to make a dollar or something
Oh,
like that.
what was this freaking saying? I haven't said it in a while now, but you need a penny to make a dollar or something like that.
A
Like you
penny
need that
saved is a
penny.
penny earned. I know we've got that.
Oh yeah,
What about whenever you inject in your thoughts into a conversation? Let me just give you my 2 cents, right? And that's a penny, you know. Or
Yeah,
how
you have
about
to just be like, let me give you my 5 cents.
my 5 cents? Or how about a penny for your thoughts? You're
Yeah,
gonna
I
say
always
that
say that
like,
too.
yeah, the next generation is gonna be like, a what for your thoughts?
They're like, what's a
That's
penny?
What's stupid, old man.
Do
It's
you
dumb.
believe that these pennies will now be collectibles and if you have pennies, you should keep them?
No, I do not. But I did hear that the last like 100 pennies that came off like the last run, they actually did put a special stamping on them where you can tell that they were like the last pennies that the U.S. ever made. And if you have those could be worth a lot. But I will bet you those don't go into circulation. Those what do they call it whenever a group puts out a token and it was pre-mined. That's what, yeah,
Hmm.
they pre-mined these pennies. My guess is they never get into my or your hands, unfortunately, even if we are trying to find them. We got
Sad.
rugged. Yes, yes. The penny is rugged, and no more. Have you ran into that yet? I haven't yet. Where you go and they're like, oh, it's 97 cents, but it rounds up to $1 or
Not
rounds down.
yet. I'm waiting to see, and I'm thinking it's gonna be like a liquor store or something, but no, I haven't. And a lot of people were saying, how do we do that when that does come into play? But I hardly ever see people use cash even nowadays. So in reality, I was like, they're just pushing us to just do everything by electronic debit, credit, and whatever. And we're cash is gonna be the next one up. They're like, hey, we're not printing it anymore.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you were going to the liquor store with cash. Something seems broke down about going to the liquor store and like bringing out just a few more bucks of cash, man. If I can just get a little bit more on that, I feel like most people are just credit card. I don't even know that. Maybe we won't even see this rounding thing happen much because
I don't know.
no one's using cash, right?
But you
Everyone's
know
just
what? I just started saying, hey, I'm just going to use cash now at the gas station because it's such a huge difference that number, like from, like, I think it says 487 for 91, right? Like if you use cash, but if you
yeah,
use
yeah.
credit or debit, it's 499.
Yes, yes, I've seen that, especially for gas.
Yeah.
And I didn't think about it. You probably have more cash than the average bear because of what you do. I'm sure you get paid in cash somewhat frequently, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's
you probably
mostly it's mostly card now or Venmo, Zelle, stuff like that. It's you'd be surprised. I would say maybe 10% is cash.
10%. I'll bet you that's higher than. I'll bet you 10% of transactions is higher than Walmart gets. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. But either way, the penny is gone. All right. Well, with the way the economy is, we're all needing great ways to budget, and we're looking for hacks into how we can do best with the money that we do have. And Christine has done some research to find out what is the best budgeting hack. So let's do a little bit of Christine's Corner.
Christine's Corner, where the buzz is hot. Crypto trends or the latest pop plot. From gadgets that glow to stars in the sky. If it's on her mind, you know it's gonna fly.
All right. I don't think I even made the.
So plug in,
lower
tune
third.
in, let's take that ride.
All right, Christine. So you told me that you wanted to talk about every Monday. I start hitting Christine up for, hey, get your topic in. What do you want to talk about? And she said trending budgeting hacks. And I immediately was like, interesting. I'm interested to see what you have cooked up, what you have up your sleeve. Whether they're trending or not, give me some budgeting hacks. I need to make my pennies go further than they've ever gone before.
Yes, we all do. What's a penny? But anyways, I went into my research went into TikTok because that's like where everyone goes now and what the
Yes.
budgeting hacks are. Well, the trendiest one. So I made a list. But the reason why this matters now is because we're facing inflation, higher cost of living, blah blah blah, and whether you're a budgeter or not, you'd be curious to know how you could make your dollar stretch a little bit during this recession like economy. So my first thing that I found on TikTok was the cash only weekend. And I was like, what the heck is that? So I started looking up videos, and I guess this cash only weekend is where you don't swipe at all and you make that promise to yourself and you just have cash in hand and that's all you use. So if you run out, you're done for the weekend, no more. And you try to make it stretch throughout and then that's all you use. And that's kind of like what you have going. You're like, I have the cash to pay for when I go
Right.
out or whatever. But you'll swipe, but you want those points, right? Like that's going into something else, like with the credits. But you go and just pay it off. But it's similar to what Voice of DeFi does. But a cash only weekend, I guess, is trending a lot of the time during this economy.
Are you? Let me interrupt you real quick. Are you you're familiar with Dave Ramsey, right?
Yeah.
He gives. He's a boomer for sure, but one of his recommendations is to basically have a cash budget because the way he says it is you think much more about the money that you're spending whenever you actually hand over cash. And so, yeah, doing that cash only weekend, whenever you buy whatever it is you're buying, you just, you think much more about it. Like, oh my gosh, this actually is $200 and that's $200 bills I'm handing over. And I think it makes you more conscientious of what you're spending.
That's very true. And I think it probably changes your behavior at the spot. Like, are you
Yes.
really gonna, you would easily swipe for $250, but if you're taking out the cash, you might refrain and say, hey, you know what? I don't know about that.
When you look at that 200s and 150, you might think like, wow, I worked hard for this 250. Is it really worth it for me to buy this, gold-plated PlayStation? Whatever you're getting.
We know someone who bought a gold-plated
We do? Oh, yeah, I guess we do.
PlayStation. Anyway, number 2, the one I found that was trending as well on TikTok is called the rule of 1 in purchasing. So from this video, it says for every $100 that you plan to spend, wait a full day and scale waiting time for larger purchases, and it helps curb the impulse of buying. So when you delay, it equals reflection and then fewer regret purchases.
But wait a second, let me make sure I understand that. For every $100 I spend, I have to have a day?
Yeah. So let's
What about
say
when
it's like $1,000, give it 10 days.
Is this just on fun purchases? What if I pay my mortgage and then I have to
Not
spend...
your mortgage.
Okay. And then I have to spend like a lot of days
No,
on the
yeah, like
sidelines.
just for fun stuff. Like if you want a brand new TV, you want a gold-plated PlayStation, like
I do.
whatever it is, if it's $1,000, wait 10 days, and then you could really reflect on that if you do really want it. And most likely that's a 50-50 that, you know what, maybe I don't want that.
Gosh, that's where some of these things I'm going to move on to children that I know. Because I do think sometimes of like, do you need another Nerf gun? You sure about that? That sort of thing. And definitely if it cost $50, if they just took 5 days to think about
Yeah.
that.
Pretty cool. I think that's a cool one.
I like it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to number 3. I found one that says preload your gift or Visa cards for certain budget categories. So I saw this mom doing this, and so she just spends with her credit card, but it's preloaded. So you allocate $100 on a card for dining out, and then when it's gone, you're done for the month. So this creates like a hard boundary that, for yourself, and you could feel it when you're like, oh, I'm out and I'm not going to
Amen.
re-up. I'm not going to reload. Obviously, $100 on a Visa card for a month is not what we do, but if you're loading up $500, whatever on it, if you're done, you're done. There's nothing else. But you do feel like you're swiping or whatever, so that gets that motion.
That
in your
dopamine
head.
going. Right.
Yeah, but if you're done, it will decline. But you're not declining on a creditor, you're declining to yourself.
To yourself. Yeah, but what do you do whenever it's a restaurant? You've already eaten that food, and they're like, Mrs. Barnum, your prepaid credit card is not going through.
I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna have to wash some dishes because I declined, and I'm
Yeah,
not
you just
going
say, "Where's the bathroom?" And the next thing you know, you hear like, and you're just peeling
I
out.
know, dine and dash time.
Right.
No, I don't know. I think it will. You'll know when you're on your last 100 and how much that food is gonna cost. You should know.
Eat for
And,
Food says I do need another Nerf gun, by the way. Anyway, go on, go on.
Oh my God. So that one's cool. I don't see myself really doing that, do you? Like, so you'll preload like for entertainment for the month.
No, I do not see myself doing that. Okay, so I mentioned Dave Ramsey because I always think the cash budget of like, because I literally know people that walk around with envelopes.
Yes,
And
me
this is
too.
their,
I know people that do that.
okay, it's their envelope for the month of cash, right? And I'm always like, can't you just have some self-control and that sort of thing? But I get it. Some people don't, and that's what they tell me. They're like, no, I don't have any self-control. Thanks for bringing it up, voice. And I was like, I'm sorry. You do what works for you. For me, I don't have enough discipline to even load up those cards in the beginning of the month. That sounds like a task that I don't want to do. So I probably won't do that, but I do understand that there's some people that makes complete sense with the way their brain works and everything like that. So more power to them.
Yeah. And then like yeah, because to me, I'm like, you need that swiping motion, like that you really need to reload these cards. Like you might as well do the envelope pack. Like why are you
At that point, yes.
Yes. But whatever works for them, right? So it's a fixation, a swiping fixation you need to do. So go ahead.
Real quick, are you a swiper or a tapper?
Tapper.
I'm a tapper. I don't swipe anymore, really.
You know
I
what's
tap when
crazy?
I
I
can.
think you knew me when I was like conspiracy theorist against the Apple Pays. I was like, no, they're doing something with that. Like we shouldn't. And then now I love it. So
Now it's just too easy, right?
yeah, I'm a sucker, man. Okay, so the next one, I found this mom hack of measure your spending in time rather than dollars.
This is good.
So
This is
let's
good.
say you make $20 an hour and then your dinner is $60 that you're going to go to. That's
3
3 hours
hours.
of your work.
I think that's
So
great.
it makes the cost real. And I think the angle to that would be that the psychological shift, it's probably going to reduce mindless spending. So 3 hours of working and then you're just going to blow it on dinner. Are you really going to do it? So they want you to like think on that.
I think that's really good as the time. It reminds me also of people that are looking to diet and lose weight. And the idea is when you take that donut, you think how much time it would take
Calories.
on the treadmill. Right.
Yeah.
How much treadmill time it would take to eat that donut.
I've never heard that.
Oh, yeah. Instead of looking at the donut as, $3, $2, whatever, then instead you look at how much time of exercise, whatever exercise you're doing, how much time it would take. And then when you realize, oh my gosh, me eating this donut is an hour and a half of my time on the Stairmaster, then eventually you're like, maybe I'll skip the donut. So yeah, maybe
Oh,
it's
I
similar
like that.
idea. Yeah, well, similar idea here to what you just said of, maybe you don't
Really
need to
like
buy
that,
that Nerf
actually.
gun because that's an hour and a half of your time.
That's really good. Okay, so let's do the next one is reverse budgeting. So you save first and you spend later. So instead of spending and then whatever's left gets saved, you automatically send money to your savings first and then you budget what remains for the spending. So you prioritize saving and it treats it like it's a bill because you have to put in savings.
I think that's great. I like it. Let me just say this because I don't want to be the same talking heads that talk about budgeting that I always hear that makes me mad. I do get it that sometimes your expenses are $3,000 and you make $2,500. And that's just the way it is. Like, and you are almost like rotating what $500 doesn't get paid, right,
Yeah.
each month. Well, this time it's going to be this bill, and this time it's going to be this bill. I completely get it because whenever I was in different positions in my life, and I would hear people saying like, "Oh, just make sure you save your money in the beginning of the month versus the end of the month," and I'm like, there is no money to be saving, so I don't want to hear about what I need to be doing with the.
Right.
I get it, and I guess what I'm just saying is some of these tips are if you do have excess money and
That's
you
true.
are able to save. And if you do some of your other budgeting hacks, maybe you'll have more money to save at the beginning or end of your month.
And this brings me to before I go to the last few I have. I had told a couple of friends like that I found this hack to save for Christmas shopping. Like you
Ooh,
start
okay.
in the beginning of the year and every week, whether it's $20, like because I was saying, oh, do $100 every week, and everyone's like, what? $100 every week, put it away. Like I don't have that. I'm like,
Right,
okay,
right.
well, I'm not meaning exactly 100. It could be $5. It could be 20 one week. It could be you. Maybe you had a good week and it's $100 that week. But 50, not 52 because Christmas. But to the point where you need to start shopping for Christmas, open up all those envelopes, and I bet you're going to be so happy that you saved all that money every
Yeah,
week
yeah.
and put it in an envelope, week 1, week 2, whatever, until you go shopping. And even if that $5 that you saved for the week, or the 10 or the 20, it all adds up, and you will be happy that you actually have some money that you could go spend that you didn't even think about.
Assuming you have that leeway, I think that's a great idea. And you're right. By the time December comes around, you'll have a lot more in there. Yeah, yeah. Again, assuming you have the money to be able to do that, I think that
Even
sounds like a fantastic
$5.
idea. Even $5, one less Starbucks. That's probably more than
Oh my gosh, right? That's everybody's problem.
right.
Okay, so number 6, oh, this is one I'm gonna do this week actually. So you audit and you cancel underused subscriptions. So go ahead and
Oh
make a
yes.
list of everything that you have subscriptions to, which everybody has subscriptions to everything. And then go ahead and cancel all the ones that you haven't used for the past couple months or don't care for, because now's the time. And then for the ones that you do use, a lot of people are actually calling these companies. I guess it's huge. This is huge on TikTok right now. Like, I think it's probably the number one, where they're calling and being like, "Hey, I'm going to cancel it." And all the companies have been given a green light, or all the customer service reps have been given a green light to go ahead and cut the bill, like almost in half, to keep the customer. So you could call Netflix, everybody, and they'll like renegotiate your bill for a year or something.
I've really thought about doing this, particularly with like my internet provider that gets kind of expensive sometimes.
Yeah.
And I've thought about doing it. I'm fearful that they'll call my bluff and I'll be like, I want to cancel. And they'll be like, oh, that's a good idea. You should cancel. And then they're like, it's gone. And so I'm worried they would do
I
that.
would think that too. I mean, the worst case scenario is be like, yeah, you know what? I'll call you back because I'm getting bad service. And then just hang up. But I heard that every company has been given a green light, subscription services, to go ahead and cut the bill, because
Okay.
everyone's cutting down right now.
And my other thing, since we talk about how much time costs, I'm always worried whenever I call into customer service that it's going to take me 3 hours to talk to an actual human being.
Oh,
So
I
that
know.
worries me too. I
Just
don't
like
want to. I'm
right away,
lazy.
just be like, cancel subscription, and then a live rep will come.
Representative. Right. Yes. I've done that many times. All right.
Okay,
Oh,
and
and by the way, just because it's in the chat, Toyota 11 says, hey guys, original account restored after 2 years. All it took was changing myself to Twitter's headquarters. Just kidding. He says, anyway, he's good to be back. So
Hi,
hello,
Toyota.
Toyota. Yeah. Glad to have you back in here.
Yes,
All right.
we're happy.
Let's
to have
hear your last little leg of your budgeting
Yes,
hacks.
let me quickly go through this. So, batch cooking and freezing your meals, buy in bulk and
yes.
buy clearance near expiration dates. We already know, we don't need to explain, but right now a lot of people are just doing buying in bulk and then cooking for the week, which is
Yes.
healthier for you, by the way, and then it
For
saves
sure.
you money essentially, and it's just time for that. And then so the next one, no spend challenges or no spend weekends. Like, you'll assign like certain weekends and say, hey, there's zero spending here, and then it makes you creative. Like, what are we going to do this weekend? Maybe like some home projects or this and that. And then you'll realize at the end of the month, like, hey, I actually saved $500 or whatever, because we did 2 no spend weekends or something.
Yeah. My wife and I do something similar to that. We'll call it a pantry diet. And it has nothing to do with a diet, but it has everything to do with we're just going to eat whatever's in, whatever we've bought. You know, those canned goods that you buy and you thought was a good idea to buy one time. We'll figure out something to eat with the stuff that we've got actually at the house. So, yeah, we'll have like a pantry diet, which basically just means we're just going to eat whatever we can scrounge together inside the food that we already have in our house and not go out to eat. A little bit similar to what you're saying of taking a weekend off.
Yeah. So pantry diet, that's a good one. And then so the next 2 is just loud budgeting, like be like say it out loud, like, hey, I'm gonna skip going out to dinner this week because I'm saving for this. And it kind of holds accountability to yourself, and then
Yeah,
you're saying it out loud, and people are like, oh, don't invite her to dinner because she's saving for this. So like, let's just skip her.
It's interesting. She keeps on saying in the middle of her tattoo, I'm saving for, like, are you just like saying it out loud at like random points during the day?
I can picture myself doing that. My clients like, I have a psychotic tattoo artist.
Right. You're just like kind of finishing up a little color. And then you're just like, I'm saving for a dinner at Nobu. And I'm like, what? I didn't ask. Okay. Anyway, go on.
They're like, have you taken your meds? No, Voice of DeFi hasn't
You're
written
right.
a
Got that
new.
for you. You're right.
Um, and then so the last but not least is declutter and sell unused items and just minimize what you have and make some money off stuff that you bought in impulsive behavior and then
Yes.
just, get rid of it. You don't need
I
it.
have definitely thought about doing a Facebook marketplace clear out, right? Where I just start putting all kinds of junk that I no longer use that has some value that somebody would probably pay money for. Or I don't know what kind of part of town you're able to live in. If you're too rural, you can't do this, but some people do like a garage sale, right? And then you can get rid of a lot of stuff.
Or
And
like,
not only does it declutter, you can make a few bucks too.
yeah, and the new thing that Gary V's harping about, like live sales. I don't know if you've been seeing that, but doing
Interesting.
live sales. So like it's me being live on TikTok or whatever, and I'm like, hey you guys, here's this shirt. Like it's size small. Like who wants it? Go ahead and click. I have it on there. Go ahead and buy it. I'll ship it to you. I guess he said that's the next big thing. You could do that. But anyways, I want you guys to choose one hack that you like from out of these 10 and then try to implement it and then let us know how it worked out for you, if it was easy or not.
Do
And
it.
then if you guys have your own hacks, let us know your budget.
That's what I was about to say. Let's just stop with what Christine says. If you've got additional hacks that she didn't say, let us know either in the chat or you can even repost the stream like Toyota 11 just did. You can repost the stream with a comment to say, I recommend this money hack, just like Christine is talking about on here. All right, very good, Christine. Great little trending budgeting hacks that we should do. Great research that you did on that. I want to talk about some insane market stats that don't actually seem real, but they are 100% real. Check these out.
Voice lessons, you'll hear it loud and clear. Tech and crypto wisdom, the truth is here. Big thoughts, bold moves, cutting through the haze. When the voice speaks up, you'll be amazed.
All right. So Christine always has a great segment, and that was a really good segment to start into this, because this will get into some market stats, less about saving money and more about maybe a little bit of history of some crazy things that have happened over the last, I'm trying to think. This is probably several years. Just a second, my computer just froze up.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
no,
think
don't-
it's frozen.
Oh, no. You and I aren't frozen, but it is out there. Just a second. Let me see. Oh, wait. It just started again. Okay.
Oh,
So
perfect.
I don't know how long we were frozen. Y'all can let us know how long we were frozen in there. I hope I didn't have like a stupid face.
I know, that's the worst.
It's the worst of anything. All right. And some of this, I need you to tell me what something is, particularly on this first one. So, all right. I want to talk about some crazy things that happened that actually made the market jump or the market move. And these seem so crazy that you wouldn't even think they're real, but they actually are real. Let's start out with a group called LVMH. I believe that's Louis Vuitton. Is that the
I
ticker?
used to work for that company.
Oh, okay. Well, they announced that they were buying Tiffany and Company in November of 2019. When they did, the stock jumped 6%.
Wow.
But empty blue Tiffany boxes went on StockX and pumped by 400 to 600% overnight. $800 for a $5 Tiffany box that came up there. Now,
Why?
you used to work for them. I don't know why. In me and my sexism, I'm going to say you are female, and therefore you know something about Tiffany boxes that I do not. I didn't know they were blue. Sorry for my wife, but
Yeah, I feel
didn't know they
sorry
were
for Hillary.
right. Didn't have any no blue boxes. Why do people want an empty Tiffany box and they're willing to pay
What I'm
$800
going
for
to
it?
guess is that they thought when they were getting bought out that they were going to get rid of these blue boxes and then it was going to be different ones from now on. So you're going to want to have these original boxes. That's the only thing I could think of, because why?
I don't understand why. And yeah, so is the idea that Louis Vuitton was going to start changing up the boxes, and these
Right.
were now going to
That's
be, these are like
only
the
thing I could
pennies?
think of. Yeah.
It's
That's
it's the-
insane.
That's insane. Yeah. So 400 to 600% overnight just because they were required, and the stock jumped 6%. So what would it be better if you just had a few bucks? Would it be better to get in the stock for 6% or to buy a few Tiffany blue boxes? And
Stocks,
I guess it's
please.
the Tiffany blue boxes. I think here it's the blue boxes would have done you better.
But did
All
anyone
right.
buy them? Doubt it.
Somebody did. I don't know. I don't
It
have
went for
answers to
sale,
that.
but no one bought it.
Yeah, I don't say. I don't know if that's the case or not. All right, next up. Oh no, are we stuck again?
Are we?
We are.
No, it looks like it's live.
It's not. It's
Oh,
not.
no.
Well, we may be live. I'm just gonna go on then, and I hope it's not. I hope it doesn't, because I can't scroll right now on my computer, so that's weird. All right. Actually, let me do something. See if I can fix one.
Tech is really chapping our ass today.
It indeed is. All right, let me go back. All right, how about the great butter short squeeze of 2021? There was one Norwegian dude, and he cornered 15% of the entire European butter futures market. Okay,
Butter.
so you're familiar with futures, Christine, whether it
Yeah.
be oil or gold or whatever. Well, he actually had around 15% of the entire European butter futures market, and prices went up 80% by
Wow.
him doing this. Then they crashed 40%. He made them go up so much that it made a lot of people sell, and it crashed 40%, and he got margin called, all because he tried to corner the market on European butter futures.
Holy crap.
Now, I don't know how much he spent to be able to do that, but I'm going to assume to buy 15% of the entire European butter futures market, that is a lot of dollars. So, yeah, that happened in 2021. We should have covered that story then.
That is a Nepo baby move right there.
You think so? You think that wasn't his money? That was his daddy's money, and he
Yes.
thought, I'm going to buy butter futures.
Yes.
All right, check this out. Pokemon cards beat the S&P 500 for 4 straight years.
That's insane.
Is that hard to believe? It says in 2020 to 2023, graded Pokemon cards are around a 48% annualized versus the S&P 500, which is around 11%. A sealed base set box you could flip from $30,000 to $432,000. It says Logan Paul actually wore one of these cards to a fight. Still, even after a crash, it's up 600% since 2020. That's crazy. That is crazy.
Insane.
That Pokemon cards actually beat the S&P 500. So you and I and all the other talking heads on X that talk about, stocks or crypto or whatever, Pokemon cards actually outdid a lot of them anyway, which is
Yeah. And I
again,
believe that. I have a lot of clients that are very much into that, and I don't understand it, but I just believe that it's a huge collector industry, and that is just a huge moneymaker for people.
it's got to be. It's got to be. All right. Did you know that one time Elon, you probably would guess this, but I bet you haven't heard of it. Actually, you might have. Did you know that one time Elon tweeted something and it randomly made an OTC stock go from 60 cents to $108 in 2
When
days?
was this?
18,000%. Okay.
When was this?
It was in 2021. Okay. Let me tell you what he did. You're familiar with the messaging app Signal,
Yes.
right? He just tweeted out, use Signal. That's all he put. Use Signal. And a random medical penny stock, OTC stock, named Signal Advance, ticker SIGL, pumped from 60 cents to $108 in 2 days. The market cap went from 55 million to 10 billion overnight, and then minus 95%
Holy
after that.
moly. Oh my gosh, I would love to have been a freaking
Yeah, early buyer on that. I mean, let's just say you had some stock all before he tweeted that, and for some reason you just believed in this Signal Advance stock, right? And you just believed in it. And then next thing you know, all he does is use Signal. He's not even talking about your stock. and the speculation. I think it also helped that the OTC market was just hot right then, as you know.
Oh, yeah.
And
Bull
that
run.
helped out. That helped out. There was a lot of liquidity around to see what would be good.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Number
amazing.
5. The U.S. government is the biggest Bitcoin whale. Now, we've talked about this before, so this, if you're a friend of this show, this shouldn't be too much of a surprise. The U.S. government holds around 210,000 Bitcoin. It's around $21 billion, more than MicroStrategy, more than every public company owned combined, all from seizures from Silk Road, the Bitfinex hack, which again we've talked a lot about those seizures, and they've never sold. Okay, and if they were to sell, they wouldn't be selling at a loss. So yeah, that's another insane market stat that the U.S. government is actually the biggest Bitcoin whale, even more than MicroStrategy. So
Wow.
I've said this before. Do we have a a lot of times it's like there's no way that we have or ever will have a reserve of Bitcoin, but we kind of already do. We haven't bought it, but we've seized it.
Yeah, I was gonna say we haven't hacked into it.
Right. So next one. There is a $900 billion company that sells nothing. Okay. How about that for a stat?
Ooh, I love
$900 billion company that sells nothing. Taiwan Semiconductor is a $1.4 trillion maker of chips. They don't design chips. They don't sell phones. They don't have a brand. But what they do is make everyone else's chips. They're up 120% in 24 and 25 alone. They're worth more than Disney, Netflix, Coca-Cola, and McDonald's combined.
Wow.
Okay? Because what they do is they build chips. My guess is they build chips for NVIDIA. They build chips for AMD. Who knows who else they're making chips for? So they're not the actual end. They don't have a brand like NVIDIA does.
What a great business.
Yeah, exactly. So Taiwan Semiconductor. All right. And then my last one on here, shipping containers 15x faster than Bitcoin. The claim was in January of 2020, there was a 40-foot container from Shanghai to LA that cost $1,400. But then in October of 2021, the peak, the high of these shipping containers, which I did not realize that shipping containers were commodities, that they would go up and down in value, it went from 1,400 to 22,000, a 15x in 18 months. I'm sure there's some logistics guys that leased those containers at $1,200, and they were clearing, $10 million at the top. So yeah, pretty good money there to be able to pull that off, and that actually is quite a bit faster than Bitcoin over the same time. So
Unbelievable.
crazy stuff. Again, insane market stats that are 100% real. And I think whenever we go over something like this, we realize that there was a lot of opportunities that we just didn't know about, didn't even realize. Like that Elon tweet, who would have ever known that or acted on it that fast? But it went up.
I remember
very
during that
fast.
time too, in 2021, I think everything Elon tweeted, people were watching like a hawk because he would pump even, meme coins and stuff.
Right. All right. Well, that is it that I have on this. I don't know if we've had, Christine, a lot of technical difficulties. I know you had some
I
microphone
know, this
issues.
is crazy, yours and
but-
mine today.
But something, and I don't know if it's me or not, but something is making our video hang every now and then. I can see it on the feed. So I don't know if it's X or if it's me and you. Who knows? But it looks like something is hanging on there. And I've tried to close out some programs to feel like, oh, it's making my computer slow. That's not really helping
Sorry about
any,
that,
so.
guys. My mic's
Yeah.
not working today. Voice is our computer thing is just freezing. Sorry.
Who knows? Like I said, I'm gonna personally believe it's not me. It's not me, bro. So yeah, it's never me. Yeah, but it is me sometimes. But I don't know that it is today. We shall see. All right. Well, that is episode 34. That was really good. I enjoyed talking about that. Enjoyed hearing about the budgeting hacks from you. Enjoyed going over the top stories. I will ask this. Share out the space, or if you don't share out the space in the future Wednesdays, make sure you come in here and kind of notch out a little bit of time for us. We love talking with you guys on the chat. We love going over the stories. And if you have any stories that you'd like us to talk about, make sure you mention those to us as well. Got anything else you want to mention, Christine, before I hit this outro?
No, I think this was a great episode. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of ours. We've been doing it for 35?
34. This is episode 34.
34, almost 35. And
Yes.
we appreciate you guys. We will get our technical difficulties up and solved by next week.
Hopefully so. Until then, we will see you next Wednesday. Yes, we'll see you next Wednesday. And also, for you U.S.-based people, happy Thanksgiving. Have a great week with family, and eat the turkey, eat whatever it is that your big meal you've got planned. Until then,
Yes.
we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Chasing the thrill of the digital hive. Stocks and tech in a renegade code. This is the path where the bold explode. Behind the charts, the story unfolds. Fortunes are built in the data it holds. From crypto skies to entertainment streams, pushing the edge, chasing dreams unseen. By the roar, the story unfolds. Fortunes are built in the data it holds. From crypto skies to entertainment streams, pushing the edge, chasing dreams unseen. By the rumor where the silence screams, in a world of risks and electric dreams. Take on the future, take the ride. Sharp minds up on the darker side. Sharp minds up on the darker side. Charts don't lie, but the faces do. Watch the market sway like it's testing you. The gossip's currency is hard to ignore. Behind locked doors lies so much more.